I'm the notorious Dirty D. This is the Casual Wrestling Show, and it starts right now.
Notorious.
Big it up, big it up.
Clear him up.
Yeah. Go.
Mark my words. Make note right now. Make note right now that on June 3rd, 2025, I made this declaration. This is the beginning of the end of the greatest wrestling company of all time. I have seen this so many times with so many different major corporations and companies. The day the numbers guy takes over the business and decisions start being made based on ROI and money and statistics instead of being made by the people who understand the business. Ladies and gentlemen, casual wrestling fans, there is not one logical reason that you do not renew R-Truth's contract until the day that he dies. Not one logical reason outside of him personally asking out of his contract. I don't care if you offered him less money and he said no. You offer him more money. There is no amount of money that you can save, no ROI explanation that you can have that justifies ripping the soul out of WWE. And I don't know who this was. I don't know if this was TKO. I don't know if this is WWE. I don't know if this is Triple H. I don't know if this is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. To be quite frank, I don't care anymore because they're all becoming painfully hard to tell apart. But mark my words right now, and I mean this. This is the end of WWE as we know it. We turned a blind eye when they moved Monday Night Raw, the longest running episodic television show, blah, 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 when they moved that to Netflix. We turned a blind eye when they started putting sponsorships on the mat in the middle of the ring. Now we are getting Slim Jim tables. They're getting rid of all of our favorite wrestlers. They're doing the absolute corporate whitewashing that happens in every major corporation that is run based on a ledger book. WWE is and has become what the IWC told us it was all along. It is an entertainment corporate entity, corporate product placement. It is a factory of entertainment, not even really sports entertainment anymore. It is a numbers game. It is out with the old. It is in with the new. It is all about ROI. It is all about how old people are. AJ Styles, your time might be up. If you don't sell enough t-shirts, your time might be up. Hey, Rey Mysterio, thank you for your services, but you're no longer needed here because we don't employ people your age. How old is Damian Priest? What's his return on investment? How old is The Miz? What's his return on investment? How about Sheamus? How about Rusev? Rusev isn't returning what you're paying him. There's absolutely no way. Or is it this? TKO, are we just trying to take the fun out of wrestling? Is that the goal? After the last year of wrestling actually being a little bit fun, you just want to take the fun out of wrestling. I get it. That's what your whole plan is. This is absolutely the stupidest business move I have ever seen in my 30 plus years of watching professional wrestling. And this isn't just going to go away, WWE. This isn't just going to disappear, TKO. This is the type of thing that festers. This is the type of thing that gets infected. It becomes a groundswell, and Casual and the IWC begin to unite in a way that they don't normally unite, and they're going to come together, and they are going to let you know that they are displeased with what you are doing currently with our beloved professional wrestling. If I was TKO right now, I would already be on the phone with R-Truth righting every wrong that I had made, offering him a fat, cushy contract doing whatever he wants. You want to work in NXT, R-Truth? Go work in NXT. You want to be on the main roster? You be on the main. You want to coach? You want to just perform your music pre-show? We're going to figure out something for you to do, R-Truth. What could R-Truth possibly make in WWE right now? 500,000? That's like 4 Slim Jim tables. That's like one logo. That's one Hulk Hogan logo on the mat in the ring, and you can't justify keeping a locker room guy. You can't justify. I'm sick and fucking tired of seeing all of these IWC guys run around and go, he's 53 years old. You can't keep him forever. No, chemistry, motherfuckers. It's chemistry. You keep a guy around because look at the reaction. When other people get released, it's a, hey, we'll see you on the other side. It'll be okay. When R-Truth got released, every WWE superstar expressed some kind of shock and awe. But I could pick right now. I could go down a list on WWE.com. I could give you 10 names that I would cut right now before I cut R-Truth. Let's start. Aleister Black and Andrade. Those are going to be unpopular choices, but if we're talking about return of investment, there is no way that Aleister Black is returning on investment the same way R-Truth was, and there's no way that Andrade, who just won a spot and Money in the Bank and completely pissed the inner off, there's no way he's a return on investment. I'll throw you another one that's real out of left field. Here's Charlotte Flair. Locker room problem, does not seem to be liked by anybody, is probably making an exuberant amount of money. You could probably keep 15 R-Truths with what you're paying Charlotte Flair, but I guess we just don't take into consideration chemistry anymore in WWE. How about all 5 of the fucking weirdos wearing masks and Halloween costumes in the Wyatt Six? We don't need them. I gotta tell you, TKO, we don't need them. If you got the money to pay them, sure, keep them. But when you start letting guys like R-Truth go, it makes me wonder, what the hell are you doing with Spirit Halloween employees? We could get rid of the Viking dudes. We could get rid of Omos, which, sorry, Omos, you're taking us stray here. I apologize. I really like Omos, but he's not, the ROI on Omos is never going to be what it is, even with a 53-year-old R-Truth. And then you got guys like Pete Dunne and guys like that who I don't even think, what is the return on investment on a Pete Dunne? What is the return on investment? What if we're talking numbers? If this is a strictly financial decision, what is the return on a Pete Dunne? But that's 12 names I just gave you. That's 12 names I just gave you. Easy. Mark my words right now. This is the biggest mistake that WWE has ever made. I can promise you that. But speaking of the IWC, while we're on the topic, here's your chance, AEW. Pull the trigger right now. Pull the trigger right now, Tony Khan. R-Truth is a locker room guy. R-Truth is chemistry personified. R-Truth, unlike many of the signings that you have made of former WWE guys, R-Truth will bring an audience with him. He comes with a built-in sympathetic audience that loves him. You, right now, Tony Khan, can become the immediate hero of the professional wrestling world if you give R-Truth just a decently lucrative contract. Not to mention, if this rumor about The Miz turns out to be true and you get a 2-for-1 and you can pull off the heist of the century, taking The Miz and R-Truth from WWE, what an opportunity to change the tides of the landscape of the pro wrestling world. IWC, don't fuck this up for Tony Khan. Keep your mouth shut. Let him do what Tony Khan does. Let him go out and sign these guys. If there were ever 2 guys from WWE that you wanted, these are the 2 guys. Don't start, IWC, don't start with the we don't need them bullshit. Do not, Will Ospreay, keep your fucking mouth shut. These are 2 guys that you could use. R-Truth, literally, I mean this with all sincerity, R-Truth could be the missing piece that AEW has needed for a long time. That guy who can bring in the casual audience. You keep talking about this is where the best wrestle. Well, here's the game plan, Tony Khan. Drop whatever bullshit storylines you have going on right now. Tell the IWC, stop jacking off, fucking calm down for a couple of minutes, have R-Truth come out night one. Sign him, he comes out, he's confused. He's like, this isn't Monday Night Raw. He's like, dog, where's John Cena? Then have him bump into a few old WWE guys and have him go, oh man, thank God, it's some familiar faces. I'm starting to see I'm in the right place. Then you have like a Will Ospreay bump into him, and you have R-Truth go, oh man, it's good to see you, Logan Paul. Now you got the audience engaged. You have that casual element. Then all you got to do is have like a Jon Moxley bump into R-Truth, have R-Truth call him Dean Ambrose, set up a title match, have R-Truth shock the world, win the AEW title, and then for the next 6 months, all you have to do is just go put on presentations with a match with Ricochet. Show the world what Ricochet can do. A match with Will Ospreay. A match with Bobby Lashley. A match with MJF. A match with Swerve. A match with Edge and Christian until the gimmick has run its course. It's a gold mine, Tony Khan. I promise you, if you don't do it, somebody's going to do it, Tony Khan. I promise you that. Speaking of missed opportunities, Karrion Kross's Money in the Bank chances came and went like a bat in the night. I am so confused by WWE right now. And it's not just the R-Truth stuff. It's not just the Miz stuff. There is so much going on right now with the booking of WWE. Kross is so over with the fans right now. And I know we get these teases, but these teases have been happening for the last 6 months with Karrion Kross. And I don't know what he's doing with Sami Zayn. I don't know. Maybe he's another member of Seth Rollins' group. That's all bullshit. This is taking too long. But I just wish right now I could be a fly on the wall, seeing who's calling the shots in WWE. Is it Triple H? Is it Khan? Nick Khan? Is it somebody from TKO? Is it Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Who's making these decisions right now? Because Karrion Kross is so over with the fans right now. And the truth is, he's probably closer based on age and ROI. He's probably closer to being cut than he is to being given an opportunity. Look, I mean, Karrion Kross has played the good soldier. He's towed the line. He's made the most of bad gimmicks. He's created online buzz. He does everything that WWE asks of these guys to do, right? Go out there and get noticed. He did all of that. At one point, he sold more merch than all of the active guys wrestling on the roster week after week, and you continue to bench him. You continue to tease these different situations. But here's the problem. We couldn't get Karrion Kross on Money in the Bank because the time for patience is over, WWE. I'm getting tired that the excuse that a lot of these WWE fans make, that's just be patient. I'm getting tired of that. SmackDown's almost fucking unwatchable at this point, okay? Andrade made it to Money in the Bank. That makes absolutely no sense to me. There are no intriguing storylines outside of the major Money in the Bank matches and maybe one other match at Money in the Bank. Other than that, you've got some random tag teams thrown together and you got a bunch of bullshit. The roster, to me, is starting to look eerily unfamiliar. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? I know that it's been talked about that Triple H would turn the main roster into NXT. Well, that's what he's doing. That's where we're heading. And I don't understand. We are past the sympathy of Triple H building to these big moments. Karrion Kross is set up right now to be a star, and you are whiffing on Karrion Kross, just like you whiffed on LA Knight. And I hate to fucking say this right now, but it is starting to look like Ricochet knew what the hell he was talking about when he said that your sanity and your booking is more important than just staying around with the company that has for the longest time been known as the best company in the world. So it looks like, based on this ROI plan from TKO, that they're investing heavily now into some of this new talent. I'm not going to say young talent because that doesn't even make sense, but they're investing into this new talent that they have on the roster, one being Stephanie Vaquer. And I'm just going to say this right now, and this is going to piss off a lot of people, but this Evolution Premium Live event, it better pay the fuck off because they are investing so heavily into the women's division, which I have no problem with, but it's at the expense of the men's division that this is happening. And at the forefront of this right now is Stephanie Vaquer, is Julia, is Roxanne Perez. This woman's Money in the Bank match is being set up to be the match of the night on Saturday. And that's fine. I have no issue with that at all. But stick with me here because this is the part that's going to upset some people. But out of Stephanie Vaquer, Roxanne Perez, and Julia, the most marketable star you have right now is Roxanne Perez. I mean, let's talk about Stephanie Vaquer because she seems to be on the minds of all wrestling fans. But here's the reality that I'll talk about. Outside of Booker T and outside of the Devil's Butt Stomp or whatever this move is that she does where she smashes her butt into the back of the head of another female, I'm not feeling the same magic that everyone else is feeling with Stephanie Vaquer. And I'm not hating by any means. I am not hating on Stephanie Vaquer. I just don't see what is so absolutely special that's got everybody so excited. Is this just a looks thing? Like, is this, because I don't know. Like, I mean, Roxanne's an attractive girl. Julia's an attractive girl. Stephanie Vaquer, there's plenty of attractive females coming out of the NXT system, so it can't be a looks thing. What is it that everybody is engaged so much with Stephanie Vaquer that they're sold? This is, like, I get it. People want it. They always, this is the thing that makes most people mad is when I say, if they can't communicate in English, it is extremely hard for them to get over with the mass amount of fans. And that pisses off the white knights of the WWE because they believe that everybody should have equal opportunity. That's fine. Everybody can have equal opportunity, but it is definitely, ask Shinsuke Nakamura, it's definitely harder to get over when you don't speak English. So there's a communication issue in the ring. She's serviceable. I don't see Stephanie Vaquer and go, she's just absolutely better. Look, I mean, and she's 32 years old. She's not in her 20s. You have Roxy, who's 23. You have Rhea Ripley, who's 28. You have Liv Morgan, who's 30 years old. You have Alexa Bliss, who's only 33. I don't know if Triple H just ripped a page out of Tony Khan's book and has fallen in love with new shiny toys. But with all of this like ROI talk right now, people like Nia Jax and Naomi need to get worried. Bianca Belair needs to start worrying that if you don't sell enough t-shirts, you could be the next person gone.
Finish him.
All right, so it's time for the Finish Him segment. This is where I take a WWE finishing move and I break down 4 major questions that you need to know about it. The percentage chance they could catch me with this finishing move, could and how would I reverse it? How bad would it hurt from 1 to 10? And how long is my recovery from this move? Let's spin the wheel to see who pops up. Okay, it looks like it is Damian Priest this week, and his finishing move, I believe, let's work off the belief that it's the South of Heaven. I believe that's what it's called. And this is a sit-out choke slam for anybody who doesn't know. Go look it up. I can't post the video or WWE will flag me. But okay, so the percentage chance that Damian Priest could connect on a South of Heaven choke slam on someone of my size and physical athletic prowess, I'm going to give him a 20% shot on this. And that's because choke slams, they're not a very effective move. Anybody who's ever been in a fight knows nobody's just setting up and letting you put your hand around their neck and grab them by the back and lift them up. It requires a little bit of theatrics to pull that one off, especially then to sit out. doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So a South of Heaven chokeslam, I'm getting 20% at best. Maybe that might be even a little high as far as letting him pull that move off me. How would you reverse a South of Heaven chokeslam? I mean, that's one of the most simple things in the world. It's just the elbow to the head. I've seen it done numerous times. Once they get you here, it's just one of those, and we're separated again, and the fight's back on. So there's not a lot to worry about with the South. It's not coming out of nowhere. It's not a very fast setup move, so I'm not worried about that. But if Damian Priest was able to connect with a South of Heaven chokeslam, how bad does that hurt on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm going to say this is around a 5. Anytime you're laid out flat on your back, lifted up, you get there's some verticality to a chokeslam. So I'd say if he actually pulls it off, it's a 5. If I protect my head, I'll be all right. It's going to hurt your back a little bit. But there's not a lot to this. This is a simple chokeslam where you're doing too much, Damian Priest, sitting down and falling over and shit like that. And then finally, what is your recovery time from a South of Heaven chokeslam? I'd say recovery time is 10, 15 minutes at best. It's going to hurt your back a little bit. You might be down. 5 minutes is probably more accurate. There's a little bit of an ego bruise thing if you get choke slammed, a little bit of like masculinity in question if you get choke slammed. But I'd say that South of Heaven is not a very effective finishing maneuver, and I don't fear it that much. I'd say, yeah, give me 5 minutes, I'm good. All right, let's get to the community takes for this week, starting with Milwaukee Mike, who said, my hot take is that AEW has the world in its hands right now to capitalize on disgruntled fans of WWE, not only bringing in recent cuts, but producing an entertaining enough product that can gain them on a weekly or maybe bi-weekly basis. WWE has now shown it's no longer fan-oriented, it's a business, and AEW seems more fan-based. The next year will be very telling of both companies. AEW should be throwing all of their shit into a bag for All In Texas. I could not agree more with that statement from Mike. Absolutely. This is Tony Khan's. This is your defining moment, Tony Khan. This is your opportunity to take that blow. You have been waiting. Tony Khan has been sitting in the shadows waiting for WWE to fuck up. And he has done a good enough job of keeping AEW relevant and alive long enough for this opportunity. This is I said it earlier, throw all your bullshit stories away that you have right now. Those aren't going to fucking work for what the goal is of the next 6 months is to attract a casual fan base to see how good your wrestlers actually are. So to do that, you got to throw away your bullshit stories that you have going on right now, and you're gonna have to adapt and react to a situation where WWE has given you a puncher's chance. And I agree with Mike that WWE they've drawn a line in the sand and they've said, we are the corporate entertainment company, which is fine. That is a plan. They can roll with that plan. I don't know if that is the most successful plan. Time will tell. But I do know that the time is now for Tony Khan to double down on the idea that we are the wrestling fans' wrestling company. And if he does that, and he does it smart, and he does it well, there is an opportunity. You may not surpass WWE, but you can take a market share of the merch sales, of the ticket sales. While WWE raises your prices, Tony Khan, make your prices family friendly. While WWE continues to get rid of some of these fan favorite wrestlers, continue to give them a place to wrestle and show that there is opportunity ahead. I love this take, Mike. I'm with you 100% on that. The next take comes from JD Cooper. He says, our truth always was and always will be the truth. WWE will never be the same without you, OG. And to the rest of the locker room, keep y'all's heads on a swivel. Triple H has become the downfall along with Dwayne Johnson. Hey, man, I argued this a couple weeks ago. I didn't want to believe Triple H had this in him, had this monster in him, and I still don't know. My problem right now is I can't identify the power structure of WWE, and that scares me a little bit because you have so many moving parts, right? You have TKO, which ultimately has the final say-so. Then you have the WWE, which is Triple H and the kind of power structure there, who is the illusion of power, but how much of a final say do they actually have when it comes to talent and decision-making? Then you have the wild card, which is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on the outside, which you don't know whose ear he's in. You don't know where he's pulling strings or what he's saying. It has become very difficult to identify who is in charge of WWE. It definitely feels like there's some sort of internal power struggle going on right now. So I'm with you, JD Cooper. We nothing but love for R-Truth. And normally I say, like, when a guy's gone from WWE, they disappear from my memory bank. That's not going to happen this time. And that's what's dangerous about what TKO is doing, because I'm not, my blind loyalty to WWE. We pulled the curtain back, right? We pulled the blinders off now, and the blind loyalty to WWE doesn't exist anymore. I would say that for the first time in probably 5 years, my fandom is up like a free agent. My free agency has started, and I'm now exploring what company I'm going to invest my platform to. I'm going to talk about where I'm going to invest my time, be it NXT, be it WWE, be it AEW, be it something completely else. The moves that WWE have made in the last couple of weeks have made me question what is the plan moving forward. That, to me, that's kind of where you have to be. That space you have to be in, JD. Junkyard James says, my thought process is that TKO is essentially a shell company used to load up on large amounts of liabilities and losses, so much that the talent that are old and their contracts are higher than the output they can produce is worth will be cut and not re-signed. They will try and lower the bottom line in order to make profit margins look better. So I agree with about 50% of this statement. I don't think that TKO, if you understand business, I don't think they're trying to load up on large amounts of liabilities. I don't think that's what they're trying to do. I do think, though, where you're correct is that they're trying to make that bottom line as pretty as possible. And I don't know if that's because they want to sell the company. I don't know what the plan is, but there is, maybe it's just for the shareholders, there is now this clear vision going forward that the bottom line is what matters. It is not the wrestling product. It is the bottom line that matters. It is not what we see on TV on a daily basis. And we're going to have to get used to that. And like I said, that's a very dangerous game, because no longer, look, say what you want about Vince McMahon. He total douchebag, slime bag, whatever you want to say about him. But it always at least felt like he wanted wrestling to be great. That at least that's what it felt like to me. Now, he may have been a shitty person. He may have did it his way, but it always felt like Vince would sacrifice a little bit of the money to make sure there was some sanctity in professional wrestling. And it feels like now with TKO that's just completely gone. Logos in the ring, logos on tables, sponsorship at every turn. Every match is brought to you by Wheatley Vodka, Slim Jim, fucking Doom, the video game. Like, we see the corporate world has flooded in. We see the ticket prices raising to a point where it's almost impossible for the casual fan to go to wrestling. And so I do agree. I don't think they loaded up on I don't think they were loading up on liabilities as much as they bought a company. They see how it works now. Now they begin to believe, and this is dangerous. This is where companies fall apart. When you begin to believe you can sell bullshit and still make the same money, I think they believe we could give these people they'll watch any wrestling, and that's just not true. When AEW sitting in the shadows with an opportunity to take over. The next take comes from Bronze Breaker. He says, the conspiracy theorist in me is sitting here thinking about and laughing about the possibility of this being an orchestrated prank by WWE to release R-Truth and then have him immediately go on a bunch of indie dates wherein he would perform as Ron Cena. I can't imagine that's what's really happening, but it would be incredible. Yeah, that was that was my shock kind of day one when I read it. I convinced myself there's no way this is real. This is a genius marketing play by WWE and John Cena ruining wrestling, and R-Truth is going to disappear and come back. I still believe that WWE could panic because of this and try to spin this like this was the plan all along. But after seeing Carlito, after seeing Valhalla, after seeing maybe The Miz be upset, I think there was quite a few phone calls that went out this week informing wrestlers of the intentions not to resign them. And I think it was 100% made on age and return on investment. I believe that to be absolutely true. I even believe, I think Jonathan Coachman has come out and said that maybe some of these guys like Miz and R-Truth have been offered contracts that are just kind of disgusting, laughable contracts that don't fit like R-Truth has usage in WWE. Miz has usage. There are ways you can use them effectively. R-Truth's not a guy who gets one appearance. R-Truth, people look forward to seeing R-Truth on every episode of television. So to think that you're going to lowball him into a contract is insane. And I hope, there's a part of me who hopes, and this is how I know the blinders have been pulled back, because there's a part of me that hopes R-Truth signs with AEW, and in kind of the same way that Ricochet has found a level of success that I don't believe to be as big as Ricochet believes, but there's a part of me that wants R-Truth to sign with AEW and find ultimate success, be huge, make WWE regret that decision. I think that's the best thing that could happen to WWE. And the last take here is from Detroit Dave. He says, none of us know how this whole thing went down. Truth has been a staple to WWE for almost 2 decades. Maybe WWE and Truth parted ways mutually. Maybe AEW will sign him to his last big contract. Who knows? Not going to judge TKO WWE for this. This is not the Vince era anymore. Man, that's exactly opposite of how I feel. I'm going to judge the fuck out of TKO and WWE because this doesn't make sense. You don't get rid of locker room guys. You don't get rid of guys who toe the company line. You don't get rid of guys who, when they come on the TV, everybody fucking smiles. I am going to judge TKO and WWE. I am going to judge. I don't think this was a mutual departure. I think they offered R-Truth way lower than what he's worth, and he said, nah, good, I'm good, I'll bet on myself. I can get more money other places. I can get more money doing my music. I can find better opportunities than to show up Friday after Friday after Friday and be used in these comical gimmicks. You just used me on Saturday Night Main Event with John Cena. I'm good. You guys needed me, and now you're going to watch me go find success. I don't think this is a mutual departure. And as far as, like you say, maybe AEW will sign him to his last big contract, I hope so. I think that's what most of us want right now. I think that you could take a poll. Most of us who have been extremely critical of AEW and been extremely critical of Tony Khan grabbing all the WWE fallout, I think that all of us would agree this is the one you fucking go get. This is the one you sign and put front and center and make WWE regret everything about this. So that leaves me with this week's final take. Triple H and Nick Khan have a huge test ahead of them. They talked all of that shit at WrestleMania about not letting the crowd dictate the decisions they make. And now you have this R-Truth situation right in front of your face. And if this groundswell gets out of hand, which I think it's going to, I don't think this is over. I think we get lots of chance at SmackDown because SmackDown is a lot slower than Monday Night Raw. It will be interesting to see if Nick Khan and Triple H decide to pivot and cave to the wrestling audience. That would be interesting. I propose right now, I think all of us as wrestling fans should change our profile pictures on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, everywhere that you can find. Change them to a black circle that says we want truth. Let's speak and show WWE and show, more importantly, TKO, that this kind of bullshit, we won't stick around forever. I'll talk to you guys on Thursday. That's it for the Tuesday edition of the Casual Wrestling Shows. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. I'll talk to you guys later.